Welcome to Awake, Aware, and Alive, exposing lies and expanding minds. I'm your host, Mikey, and welcome to the show. If you haven't already, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, push the bell for notifications. And today we are going to talk about to define the dollar as a fixed weight of gold. This bill was just introduced March 22nd of this year, just a few months ago. It was introduced by Mr. Mooney of West Virginia, And it's a very short bill, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of read this for you guys. To define the dollar as a fixed weight of gold, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Section 1 findings. Congress finds the following. 1. The United States dollar has lost 30% of its purchasing power since the year 2000 and 96% of its purchasing power since the end of the gold standard in 1913. 2. Under the Federal Reserve's 2% inflation objective, the dollar loses half of its purchasing power every generation or 35 years. 3. American families need long-term price stability to meet their household spending needs, save money, and plan for retirement. 4. The Federal Reserve policy of long-term inflation has made American manufacturing uncompetitive, raising the cost of United States manufacturing goods by more than 40% since the year 2000, compared to less than 20% in Germany and France. 5. Between 2000 and 2010, United States manufacturing employments shrunk by 1/3 after holding steady for 30 years at nearly 20 million jobs. 6. The American economy needs a stable dollar, fixed exchange rates, and money supply controlled by the market, not the government. 7. The gold standard puts control of the money supply with the market instead of the Federal Reserve. 8. The gold standard meets legal tender defined by and convertible into a certain quantity of gold. 9. Under the gold standard through 1913, the United States economy grew at an annual average of 4%, 1/3 larger than the growth rate since then, and twice the level since 2000. 10. The International Gold Exchange Standard from 1914 to 1971 did not provide for a United States dollar convertible into gold, and therefore helped cause the Great Depression and stagflation. 11. The Federal Reserve's trickle-down policy of expanding the money supply with no demand for it has enriched the owners of financial assets but endangered the jobs, wages, and savings of blue-collar workers. 12. Restoring American middle class prosperity requires change in monetary policy authorized to Congress in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 5 of the Constitution. Section 2. Define the dollar in terms of gold. Effective 30 months after the date of enactment of the Act. 1. The Secretary of Treasury in this Act, referred to as the Secretary, shall define the dollar in terms of a fixed weight of gold based on that day's closing market price of gold. And 2. Federal Reserve banks shall make Federal Reserve notes exchangeable with gold at the statutory gold definition of the dollar. Section 3. Disclosure of holding. During the 30-month period following the date of the enactment of this Act, the United States government shall take timely and reasonable steps to disclose all its holdings of gold, together with a contemporaneous report of any United States governmental purchases or sales, thus exchanging the ability of the market and the market participants to arrive at the fixed dollar gold party in an orderly fashion. So there it is, guys. It's very short, very easy bill. I praise this man right here for actually putting this up. I mean, you have balls, and to even do this, because the last person that tried to do this died and we all know who that is. So let's just kind of go through here. If you don't already know, which you should, our dollar is not backed by gold anymore. It's a credit system. It's based off the Federal Reserve, which isn't even a part of our government. It's an outside entity. The Federal Reserve Act was enacted in the year 1913 by President Woodrow Wilson. And there's famous quotes actually by Woodrow Wilson of how he speaks of how he regrets signing this bill and how he knows that he threw our country away and threw his own country away on his deathbed. He admitted a lot of this. But what a lot of people do not know is that when this was happening, when these forces of these central banks were pushing for this, there were a lot of lobbyists heading to America and that wanting to fight against it and lobby against this bill. And all of those lobbyists were invited to take a ride on a ship called the Titanic, which was set to crash and planned to crash. One of the first terrorist attacks and false flag attacks to kill innocent people. Now, if you're hearing this for the first time, you're probably thinking, "Oh, you're crazy. Oh, what? Show some proof. What do you know about that? That's outlandish." Well, that's exactly what Woodrow Wilson was talking about when he said this quote right here. "Since I entered politics, I chiefly had men's views conflicted to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacturing are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it." And that's exactly what he was talking about, because he knew what that ship was all about, and that's why it's so famous. It's not famous because it accidentally crashed. It's famous because it was meant to crash, and it was meant to kill those people just so they couldn't lobby against this bill. And that's why they throw it in our face about it and make movies about it and flaunt it at us. But also in just Reuters not that long ago, you have Trump says Russia, China playing currency devaluation game. Now we know China has been stocking up on all of the minerals of the world and gold, and Russia too. Russia has a huge gold supply, and it's questionable to know how much we even have. There's theories that Fort Knox is empty, and where is all our gold? We don't know. We need to audit. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think about this bill. I personally would love us to go back to a fixed weight of gold. That way we can have growth. We can not have to live and be in a debt-based system, because that's what we are. We're in a debt-based system, and it doesn't serve us. It was never meant to serve us. And in fact, we had more depressions and crashes with the Federal Reserve System since it's been enacted than we did previous to it. In fact, the huge crash of 1920, that was shortly after this bill, the Federal Reserve Act, was implemented. And I mean, just look, it says it right here in the bill that the dollar has lost 96% of its purchasing power. So it's bound to crash. We all know it's coming. If you don't know, then you should know by now. And that's why it's good to invest in precious metals, gold and silver. If you are interested in purchasing gold and silver or converting your IRA and 401k into precious metals, I encourage all of you to go to noblegoldinvestments.com. I'm not even plugging this as a sponsor or anything. I'm just trying to get it out there. Check these guys out. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your finances. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure to subscribe, like the video if you found it helpful. Comment below and let me know what you guys think, and share this video with your friends, family, and coworkers. And remember, guys, stay awake, stay aware, and stay alive.